How was it?
But it says it needs charge. This is our IRGC 40 golf cart. And this is all the instructions they give you, so it's not much to go on, but that's what we got. We'll have to figure it out from there. So this is how it came. It was all packaged up in a crate, and I just got it off. First thing I had to do, I did put the wheels on so I could move it around a little bit, the back wheels, and we got a front wheel assembly we're gonna have to do and all the stuff. So I'm gonna try to video as much as I can, because there's nothing online to show you how to do this. So we're going to go through it together and try to figure it out. And if it helps, it helps. If it doesn't, it doesn't. All right. So IRGC 40 golf cart. We're going to get her put together. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this assembly for the front, because I want to get the keys, unlock the boxes. Keys are up here, so we're just going to cut through that and get them first, and get our boxes undone. And that's the first thing we're going to do. All right, well, the keys are in it. We got that front handlebar assembly off, and we'll get those out. That way, it's got a remote start, and you can lock it, start it. It's got a key, which is great because you can turn this off, so if the kids get crazy, you can hit that button and stop it. All right, we'll get these boxes unlocked and see what we got for the batteries. It says that's the first step, is batteries. Connect the blue to red terminals of each battery in turn. Yeah, it took about 20 minutes to unpack everything and put it where it's going to ultimately go. And there's only one thing I'm not seeing, which I hadn't opened up any of the boxes. Goes to the front tire. We'll check and see if we can find out. But I got everything laid in place to start assembling, and I don't see any bolts or anything like that. So we're going to open these up and find out what we got, see where the batteries are and all that. All right. So you open up your rack, you got all your nuts and bolts and all that in there. You got your back fenders, your front fender. I was wondering where those were at. They're all in this back box. So you got your turn signal, where your lights are for that. So that's where all your pieces are and parts. I'm not sure where it all goes because they're not real specific on their instructions. So we're going to just fumble through it, and hopefully if it works, help somebody out, cool. If not, don't do what I did. So we'll try it. Well, I got the batteries put in and wired. You got to get these right. Got it all wired right. And I'll get the bracket put on the top, get it all folded back down. That's the big thing, getting it right. And we'll show you. I know I've got it now. So there we go. Lights on. So now we got everything going. Got the digital readout. We'll get everything put back together. Gotta get this one right. Well, the front wheel assembly is a little difficult, but it isn't that bad. Got your fender, I put it on before I started this. And then you got these Allen wrench bolts that you gotta unloosen. Shove that up in there. And tighten them back down. And then you're gonna have to put your brake assembly on here. But that's my next trick. But I've got to put the handlebars up on there and get that took care of. So we're gonna start on it and we'll work our way back to the brakes. All right, and then I put the basket on because that's got to go up inside your handlebars right there. So we'll get working on that. All right. So we got the handlebars on. That is a two-man job. To get the basket lined up into the handlebar assembly, it's a chore. So it took two people and a little bit of an argument. so be prepared. All right, so we got that on. It starts up. We're all on. Everything's good. Needs to charge, but it goes forward and back. Now I gotta get the turn signals on, get them mounted up right, and just start putting everything back together. And then the big question is charging. Just make sure it's all charged. There's something, a 60 volt conversion, and that's these wires right here, and I'm not too for sure where they go, and it's not clear. So I don't know what that is, 60 volt conversion. So I'm gonna do a little more research on that if I can find anything. That's the problem, you can't find anything online. Well, we'll start working on a little more. Once I got those plugged in, I'm assuming that's what it is on this part 4 that fixed this, and it's underneath and you'll see it. They're not together. I put them together, and I'm assuming that's what you're supposed to do. But now it's actually starting to charge more. So it didn't charge fully until I plugged that in. So let's see if that works. Hopefully, they don't give you much instructions. They just tell you to fix the 60 volt conversion for it. They don't tell you how to do it. They got to walk me hand in hand if they want me to do something. So I'm assuming that's it. I got the batteries installed, and that did make a difference when I plugged it in. So I'm not sure. But anybody else out there that's done this, maybe give me a clue, see if I'm doing it right. Thanks. Bye. Well, the fenders with the tail lights, pretty simple. Just 2 bolts in there that you got to get. And they're long-winded, so it takes a minute to get them ratcheted down. And then you got one line that comes off for the tail light, and it's right here. It's right here. So we're gonna look to see which one of these is for that. And we'll check it out after we're done. Oh, we got it plugged in and got it turned on, so there we go. Both turn signals are right-hand turn signal, and we're good. Now we'll just do the other side. Well, we got both back fenders on. Both turn signals are working. And I got my battery charging. I'm hoping I got all that right. It shows it. is charging 69 volts, so I don't know. I'm saying I got it right. I'm not sure. But it's charging. We're going to let her charge up. All right, we got the back seat guard on. It's basically just bolts. It's pretty self-explanatory. Although these Allen bolts go on the outside of the for the guards, and you'll see it's pretty self-explanatory once you get into it. Now we just put our seat down, and we'll get our backrest on, and that part will be done. It's pretty simple, all this little stuff. Biggest problem I think I had was just those fenders. Really, it's just tight, and getting the bolts on that and getting everything plugged in. But it's not been hard. Front wheel's a little. That's a two-man job, and you may have an argument with your wife. So be prepared. All right. We'll talk to you in a few when I get the rest of it. Okay, one little detail. Your mirrors. I was trying to figure out how in the world these turn signals go. So you got to put your mirror on first. And then on that bolt that the mirror comes down through, you put that turn signal up in there, just like that. And there's a nut that you screw on. So we'll get that done and I'll show you. All right, one thing I found out, you gotta take that battery charger right there in the batteries, and you gotta take it off the bracket because you can't get those little Allen bolts in for your front handrail. So you got to take that out, scoot it over, and put it back. That is one thing I did find. All right. So we finished up. Kind of takeaways from it. The only big problem was is I didn't have this. There's a 60 volt conversion. You got to plug it in underneath here, and you'll see it. It hangs down. So that's a big thing. And that controlled, it wasn't charging right. So that was my big thing. Had to fix it. And there really isn't anything, like I said, the instructions are they're not real good. But you'll see it. Looks like that. It's got a white line and a black line. And they just plug into each other. They're right there with each other. I don't know why they don't do it. The only other things were a problem with, I attached the basket first to the body of it, and I probably should have waited. It would have made it easier to get it in the handlebar assembly, and I wouldn't have had an argument with the wife, so you might take heed. Other than that, it all went together. It's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, they have some instructions, but they're not great. The only other hard part was just getting this back fender and tail lights plugged in. That wasn't hard. It was tight, and yeah, I gotta fix my basket. I'm gonna take that off, and there is a bracket that goes underneath it. I gotta fix that. I'll do that today. But other than that, it's a little speed demon, man. I got it out there and played it around, and I'm pretty impressed with it. I mean, me and the wife were on it, and it sped right along. I bet you 15, 20 mile an hour easily. And it was a lot of fun. It went through the snow. So, I don't know if I'd recommend it for snow, but it went through it. So it had a little bit of power, more than I thought it would. So it was fun. I'm glad we got it. Kids will love it. All right. We'll talk to you later.